When oil goes to war, the battlefield does not stay on the battlefield. It moves through shipping lanes, refineries, insurance contracts, airline tickets, grocery shelves, and finally into the quiet panic of an ordinary family checking its bank account. At first, the story looks simple. A conflict escalates. A headline appears. Oil jumps. But that is only the surface. Underneath, there is a map most people never see. And at the center of that map is one question: who wins when oil goes to war? The honest answer is not one villain. It is a network. Producers outside the danger zone. Traders who profit from volatility. Insurers who price fear. Shipping companies that charge for risk. Governments with leverage. And companies powerful enough to pass the cost down the chain. The winner is whoever can sell into fear. The loser is whoever has no choice but to pay. To understand that answer, start with a place most people will never visit: the Strait of Hormuz. On a map, it looks small. A narrow passage of water between Iran and Oman. But to the energy system, it is not small at all. It is one of the most important choke points on Earth. A huge share of the world's seaborne oil moves through this corridor, carried by tankers that look slow, silent, and almost impossible to stop. But the global economy does not need the strait to fully close in order to panic. It only needs the possibility. Because oil markets do not wait for disaster. They price the probability of disaster before it arrives. A threat becomes a premium. A missile becomes a model. A rumor becomes a number on a screen. And that number travels faster than any tanker. It reaches traders in London, refiners in Asia, gas stations in America, airlines in Europe, farmers in Australia, families everywhere. This is why oil is never just oil. It is transport. It is food. It is plastic. It is fertilizer. It is heating. It is shipping. It is war. It is politics. It is inflation wearing a different mask. So when people ask who wins, the first group is obvious: producers who can still sell. If a country or company has oil outside the most dangerous zone, and the global price rises, it may sell the same barrel for more money. Nothing about the barrel changed. The fear around the barrel changed. A producer with spare capacity suddenly becomes important. A producer with secure export routes becomes more valuable. A producer with stored barrels becomes more powerful. But this is not the same as saying every oil producer wins. Some producers are trapped inside the crisis. Their ports are threatened. Their ships are delayed. Their customers hesitate. Their own revenue can collapse even while the price rises. Oil war does not reward everyone with oil. It rewards whoever can still deliver oil when others cannot. The second group is less visible: commodity traders. They do not need to own the oil field. They need to understand the fear before the rest of the market prices it correctly. They trade futures, options, spreads, storage, shipping routes, refinery margins, and time itself. For them, volatility is not just chaos. It is oxygen. A peaceful market can be boring. A frightened market moves. And movement creates opportunities for people with information, capital, and speed. The third group is shipping. Oil does not teleport from the Gulf to the refinery. It moves on ships, through routes, under contracts, inside a web of risk. When the route becomes dangerous, the ship becomes more expensive. Tankers may wait. Routes may change. Crews may need higher compensation. Companies may demand more money to enter the danger zone. The oil may still move, but every mile now carries fear as cargo. Then come the insurers, one of the quietest parts of the map, but in wartime one of the most powerful. A ship in calm waters has one price. A ship near a conflict zone has another. That difference is not just paperwork. It is the cost of fear, calculated and sold. War risk premiums rise. Coverage becomes harder. Some vessels hesitate. Some cargoes become too expensive to move. And once insurance prices fear, everyone downstream pays for it. If this map is useful to you, hit like and subscribe. Invisible Maps is about showing the systems underneath the headline, the places where money, power, and risk actually move. Now follow the barrel one step further. A refinery does not simply buy oil. It buys a specific kind of crude, from specific suppliers, through specific routes, for specific equipment. That means not every barrel can replace every other barrel. If the wrong supply disappears, the problem is not just price. It is compatibility. This is one of the hidden bottlenecks of the oil system. It looks global, but many parts of it are strangely specific. A tanker delayed in one strait can affect a refinery designed for a particular crude thousands of miles away. And once refining costs rise, the impact moves into gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, heating oil, and petrochemicals. That is when the war leaves the map and enters daily life. Airlines feel it through jet fuel. If they hedged well, they may survive the shock better. If they did not, tickets become more expensive, routes get cut, or margins get crushed. Trucking companies feel it through diesel. If they can raise prices, the cost moves to retailers. If they cannot, the business absorbs the pain until it breaks. Farmers feel it through fuel, fertilizer, equipment, and transport. A higher oil price can appear months later as higher food prices, long after the viewer has forgotten the original headline. This is how oil hides inside the supermarket. Not as a black liquid, but as a cost embedded in distance. The longer the chain, the more places fear can attach itself. And that brings us to the real loser, the person at the end of the chain. The consumer has no futures desk, no refinery margin, no shipping contract, no strategic reserve, no or risk insurance team. The consumer only has a bill. This is why the final payer is usually the least protected actor in the entire map. A producer may sell higher. A trader may hedge. A shipowner may charge more. An insurer may reprice risk. A company may pass costs forward. But a household often cannot pass the cost anywhere. Power is the ability to pass pain to someone else. The weakest point in the chain is the place where the pain stops moving. Now governments enter the map. For them, an oil shock is not just an energy problem. It is a political problem. If prices rise too fast, voters get angry. If inflation returns, central banks get nervous. If fuel becomes unaffordable, entire industries start demanding help. So governments reach for tools. They can release strategic reserves, but reserves are finite. They can subsidize fuel, but subsidies move the cost from the pump to the taxpayer. They can pressure producers, but producers listen most carefully when they have leverage. They can raise interest rates to fight inflation, but then housing, jobs, and investment may suffer. Every solution creates another cost somewhere else on the map. This is why oil shocks are so politically dangerous. They make leaders look responsible for prices they do not fully control. And they give leverage to whoever can increase supply, protect shipping, or calm markets. That includes oil states. It includes military powers. It includes central banks. It includes companies sitting on infrastructure most people never think about. But there is another uncomfortable winner, anyone who can turn fear into attention. War headlines bring viewers. Panic brings clicks. Outrage brings engagement. And in the attention economy, fear does not only move markets, it moves audiences. That does not mean the crisis is fake. It means the crisis has layers. One layer is military. One layer is energy. One layer is financial. One layer is political. One layer is psychological. It is too simple to say oil companies start every war. It is also too simple to say nobody benefits. The real answer is colder. The system rewards whoever is positioned before the panic begins. Who has barrels? Who has ships? Who has storage? Who has insurance? Who has data? Who has military protection? Who has pricing power? And who is standing at the end of the chain, forced to accept the new price? If the Strait of Hormuz closes, the world does not simply run out of oil overnight. Something more subtle happens first. The world reprices risk. Every barrel near the danger zone becomes more uncertain. Every route becomes more expensive. Every alternative supplier becomes more valuable. Then the crisis spreads through expectations. Refineries expect delays, airlines expect higher fuel, supermarkets expect transport costs, central banks expect inflation, and households expect life to get harder. So who wins when oil goes to war? Whoever can sell into fear, charge for risk, control supply, protect routes, hold storage, move information, or turn panic into leverage. And who loses? Whoever cannot escape the bill: the driver, the renter, the farmer, the small business, the airline passenger, the family buying groceries, and the country that imports energy but cannot print dollars. So here's the question: when oil prices rise during a war, is the system simply reacting to danger or transferring the cost of danger to the people with the least power? Tell me in the comments, and if you want more invisible maps behind the headlines, like this video and subscribe to Listen in the Dark.